Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. I'm back in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and let's sort this audio out first. Alright, so and so I'm trying to reduce some of this audio because it kind of reverberates back into my ear. Let's see. Okay. Well, anyway, so back into another simple flight. Today we're flying from Kenya, Nairobi, to Madagascar. This location, well, not location, but the setting for the ridiculous, actually quite a popular movie, animated series. But anyway, back to the flight. So today I am flying to Madagascar, obviously, and I'm in this fictional Madagascar A350-900. It's a beautiful looking livery. I love everything about it. It looks good, just yeah, beautiful, and it looks amazing. It's already amazing aircraft, which is the A350-900 series. So, to the flight, I've done most of the preparation. I've requested some services from GSX, so they're loading passengers. As you can see, the catering trucks have just departed, and we're going to pop back in to the cockpit. Let's reduce the audio just a tad bit. And yeah, so I've done all the preliminary, so gone through the flows. I'm just gonna now program the MCDU, so get the flight underway as our passengers board the aircraft. So, company flight plan request. That's gonna send the request. Once it's ready, insert, and that will populate the initialization page. And this should allow everything that I've done prior on SimBrief. Just give me a second. Hopefully, yeah, that's reduced the noise a tad. Could also reduce some of the Microsoft Flight Simulator, so audio in my ears is less distracting. Anyway, so as you can see, we've obviously got from and to, and also our alternate, cruising at 39,000 feet, cruise temperature minus 56 degrees Celsius. Mode of, well, we're going to be using cost index, which is 100, and that's going to be our eco mode. I think that's pretty much it. Gonna copy the wind as well, so I need to get that stuff in. Okay, that's fine. IRS, just check 1, 2, and 3. Seem to be good. Back to init page. We'll go straight to departures now. Alright, so we need to get the operational flight plan, and we have a departure from runway 6, and it is using the Atude SID Atude 2A. Alright, and then I'm going to insert that, so we're going to go straight to the arriving runway 11 or 11, and using ILS 11 Zulu. Go to the start first before we go to transition. So TN is our star, but there's a few TNs here. So TN1Z. So this is going to be this one, and we're going to go with the bubbly transition. Alright, so what I could do is go through the flight plan itself, just make sure nothing is missing. So take off, follow runway heading to Antuk, and from Antuk to Gazbo, but we have a discontinuity here. I'm going to delete that, and let's continue. So everything looks to be fine, no more gaps, and we just have a quick look at the arrival. Okay, let's continue scrolling down. So straightforward, looks like it, but I'm not happy with this TNV. So I should, so TNV, delete that, delete the discontinuity. That gives us a slightly better approach to, actually there's still another one here. I think it's TN to IO. Yes, so IO is the issue. I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of the discontinuity, and that's a slightly better final. What I could also do, actually I'll just accept that first, insert that, and I'll do the fixes as now. So departure airport is Jomo Kenyatta, which is HKJK, and I'm going to put a 10-kilometer ring around the airport, and then I still can't pronounce the capital of Madagascar, so anyway, it's very difficult, not difficult, but it's just it's not something I've heard anyone pronounce or try to pronounce as of yet. I probably might get it right the first time, probably might also get it wrong. Alright, so FMMI is the reference ident. I'm going to put 10-kilometer. Let's silence the ATC. Well, not silent, but just it's a bit noisy. Alright, and then the last fix, FMM. Oops, sorry, I need to click that first. FMM. I enter, and we're going to do a 5-kilometer ring. So those are the rings here. So this will give us a rough estimate of where we are. So we'll probably be turning to final around about 15 nautical miles from the airport or the runway. Now I do see something on the first officer screen there, maps on the map, and it looks like we've got a very awkward departure. So I'm gonna go to top of the flight plan, and the issue comes on the right turn to Antuk. So if you can get rid of Antuk and then get rid of the discontinuity, and then slightly much better, insert that, slightly more better, much better departure. Even though it's a very sharp right turn almost immediately after we lift up. It's a little bit too tight, I'm not too happy with that, but I'll probably might follow runway heading before engage the or the pilot again, or the heading. Well, I think it's equivalent to LNAV, but I think that's it for the departure. Go back to init, fuel payload, some double check. So zero fuel weight is 185. Fuel is 24.3 ton. So just double check with that with the OFP here. Yep. Where is it? Fuel 24.3. That's also correct. And center of gravity, that's going to be calculated for us as well. So click on it, press enter, and we've got, let's go to ground, or sorry, load sheet, and we want the passengers. So we've got 110 passengers on board. Boarding, well, we're going to 120, sorry, 324 passengers. What we're expecting. 3, 2, 4, enter. And I think, yeah, JTSN gross weight, we might need to get that in. So that's 31.9. So 31.9. So hopefully that should be correct. All right. So bring the map to nav, so we're more centered, and we'll do the same for the first officers, but we'll increase the range. And back to init, takeoff reference. So that's where we're going to come to the EFB, electronic flight board, I think that's what it's called. So we're going to sync with the FMS, and also going to sync the weather as well with the meta. So winds, so 6 knots, blowing in from 80 degrees. Outside temperature 20, QNH 1023. Conditions dry. Icing we don't need because temperature is way above 10 degrees Celsius. Takeoff weight 21.214.3 tons. Config flaps 1. Air conditioning technically on. Thrust, we're going to use flex, and we should get a flex number once we compute. Alright, flex is alright, so that's all in. We could put the weather information for our destination. So it's gonna go into the laptop and let's get information in. So wind direction is 170 degrees and 15 knot wings, so sorry, 15 knot winds, so could be a shaky approach. So I'm going to be very attentive, and I probably might let the autopilot handle the final approach, and then probably disengage autopilot just around about 500, depending on how the weather looks. So I believe we've done all the programming here. We can now turn on the transponder so we can get traffic information. I'll also set the radar dish tilted up, and nav data, that's going to be done automatically for us, so that's good. We don't have to worry about that. Flight destination, I think we've got everything now. Put performance on the first officers. I'm going to have the flight plan on our screen. So should be good. Passengers should already be on board, and yeah, ground crew has departed the aircraft. So what I'll do now is I will start the APU master, APU start, and while we do that, turn on the fuel pumps. I can also turn on the seat belts, smoking, and electronics. And so just going to wait for APU to come on. While that does that, we'll get rid of the stairs and jetway, and the tag is in position, so is the guides as well. So let's bring up GN6, start with the stairs, and then let's get rid of the jetway. So APU should be nearly there. Once it's available, I'll turn on the air bleeds and turn off the ground power. So there it goes. We can turn on the bleeds, turn off the ground power, and we can also disengage the ground power and get rid of the chokes as well. Alright, so all doors are closed. We can now arm the doors as well. So that's in case of an emergency. The slides will deploy as well in case the doors are open. Alright, so happy with that. I can now turn on the beacon lights and yeah, let's go. So obviously now the first officer would obviously be giving a passenger announcement, and I can now first do the checklist. Cockpit preparation, all this was done, checklist complete. So we go to the before start, parking brakes are on, as you can see on here. Takeoff speeds and thrust have also been selected. So we're using flex. V1 is 146, VR 149, and V2 154. Slides are arm, so that's the what happens when you arm the door. That's checklist complete. So GSX, we are ready to depart. Where is it? Push back. There we go. So they're all ready to go. It's gonna hook up the front wheels and lift us just a bit. Alright, so nose to the left. Yep. Bring back the view. Yep, nose to the left. I keep doing that. Alright, so there we go, done it right this time. And we need to turn off the parking brakes. We should start pushing back now. Alright, so quick view. We're not close to anybody. It's quite tight taxiway. We've got the 747 directly behind us, and there's a fuel truck that's not too far behind us, but I'm okay to be able to start the engines. So usually you hold starting engines until you're actually on the taxiway, just if it's a very tight location, tight gates. So if there's another aircraft behind us, sort of hold push starting the engines just in case it blows anything towards the other aircraft. So just a safety feature. So ignition start to ignition, and we're going to start engine number 2, and we can also have a nice little view as the engine spills up. Alright. Turning this parking brakes because the pushback has ended. So we're just gonna wait for J6 to let them know that we've got 2 good engines to start. So start engine number 1. So they're gonna hold until obviously I'm happy that both engines are stable. So there goes engine number 1.
Ground loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy with Charlie, ready to taxi air. Taxiing, hold short runway 6 using taxiway Juliet Golf Kilo. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy.
Okay, so both engines are stable at N1 at 3. So J6, you can depart the aircraft. Well, detach from the aircraft. So confirm good engine start. I can also record this. Alright, there we go. So with that I can yeah, so we're ready to go. We've also got taxi clearance to take off runway 6, which is just around about there, so we're going to go around and join the taxiway. So what I could do, so that's departure. I'm going to borrow the so we're parked gate 13, which is right about here. Okay, before I do that, let me get aircraft configured. So flaps 1, ground spoilers armed, ignition to normal, APU can go off, and where is it? Flaps take off, auto brakes to RTO. I think that's something that Airbus has introduced. So the flaps are still extending. Let's have a look. So the slats are slid forward. So we'll look at the flaps are in position, or takeoff position, which is flaps 1, which is just turned green. And I think that's it. Have a good trip. Yeah, thank you very much. So we're going to ask GSS for one more thing, and so runway 1, just show the spot, so it's right about there. Alright, I think that's it. Just have to do the checklist. We've also got the meta information printed out, which is going to pop up there. That's a new addition. I think it's one of the previous previous update from Inibuilds. Alright, so checklist, after start checklist, we don't need anti-icing, flight controls, we're just going to do that, ground clearance received, so we'll be clear to take off runway 6 or to taxi to runway 6. Just gotta quickly do the flight controls, full left, full right, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Back into the cockpit, say checklist is complete. So checklist again, taxi checklist, flap set, radar is on, TO config is the next, but we need to chime the cabin to let them know that we are ready to start. You can also do forward as well, and then turn the taxi lights all on. Of course, turn the wing lights on as well, and TO config. I think that's once we've done the brake test as well. So I think we're gonna have to wait for to complete the checklist I think it's something new, because usually you have to hold it for like about 5 seconds, and it's fine. So get rid of the keyboard and the foot pedal guards. Alright, with that, release the brakes and we start rolling on idle power. It's very powerful engines. Maybe not. Usually it rolls on idle. So parking brakes are off. So really, we should start rolling. So what I'll do now is just apply a little bit of power. Now sometimes it doesn't move because the sim still thinks that we are still being towed. So really, should be. So I'm going to apply just a little bit of power. That's not good. I don't know what's happening. I really should have started rolling. But see, your config has gone green here, but it's not gone good on the on that display there. Alright, TIA config, that's good. So checklist complete. Now let's solve this riddle or this mystery of why we are not rolling. Alright, so all is good. So chokes are not. Let's click stop pushback. Hopefully that fixes it. Alright, so I'm going to release the parking brakes. Apply a little bit more power than I was before. Really should have started rolling already. There we go. So yeah, a little bit more power than we were. So yeah, I'm gonna be rolling with a little bit more power. So let's start rolling the aircraft. So I don't know what's happening, really. Because we're using about 25% power just to get rolling. There we go. So alright, so we're going to be, like I said, it's around about 3-hour flight. Yeah, I'm going to have to maintain, I'm going to have to hold the throttle a bit more because I'm not sure what's happening. Alright, so like I said, over about 3 or so hour flight, so probably about 2-ish hour flight, 2-ish hours. With time compression, probably reduce that to about an hour flight, an hour and a half flight. So we're gonna make our way to runway 6. I've been to Jomo Kenyatta actually with KLM. We did a quick stop over before our flight to Entebbe. That was a few years back. It's a beautiful airport. I'm pretty sure most of it has been updated or upgraded. So it must look quite nice actually. Alright, for left is clear, right is clear. So I believe that's the cargo terminal. Okay. So I'm gonna change to the SID and give for runway 6. Alright, pop that back to the first of the screen and I'll have our own screen. So as you can see, we are nicely configured. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna turn to the runway now. So I don't know why we're not able to roll on idle. It's quite strange. I don't know if they changed the physics or something, but anyway, we are on our way. So just about to approach runway 6 and we're gonna request takeoff. While we do that, I'm gonna hold here. So there's no one coming into land, so it should be good to just get on the runway. Okay, release the brakes, release the power again, and let's start rolling. And with that, I can turn on the strobe lights, nose takeoff lights, and landing lights. Alright, so it's going to be a rolling takeoff. Alright, start the clock. Bring power up to 50%. Engine stable. Mount flex, SRS and runway. Airspeed alive. Slowly dip the nose. 8 knots. Slowly release forward nose pressure. 100. V1. Rotate. Position ready to climb. Gear up. And then there you go. Just stay on the flight director. So like I said, I'm going to be flying runway heading for just a bit.
118.5 for loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf.
Alright. So I'm still hand flying it. I'm going to ping the power to climb mode. So it's managed by the autopilot.
Nairobi Center.
We'll do that. I'm going to dip the nose just a tad bit.
Would like to change destination to Avato.
Direct the autopilot to climb directly to 39,000 feet, which is going to be at cruising altitude, or initial cruising altitude. Alright, so with that, I can now turn on the autopilot and we can start the right turn to Madagascar. While we do that, we'll disarm the ground spoiler. The speed is slowly climbing. We'll then retract the flaps once it gets to the S, which usually means second flaps, but Alright, flaps up. Alright, back to the cockpit. And oh yeah, I forgot to do the line-up checklist, but it's only this cabin, takeoff runway, parks we're on, it's fine. Alright, so climbing up, I'm going to start our left turn to Gazville. I'm going to turn into arc and increase the view range. There's not a lot of aircrafts around, but we've got low altitude clouds, so we're going to be flying into some clouds. So the visibility is quite low, probably say about 10 or so nautical miles. Alright, transition altitude, parameter set to standard. Are we going to maintain altitude constraints, which is 250 below 10,000 feet, but we're just about to climb over 10,000 feet quite soon. Just climbing through the clouds now. The sun is brighter above the clouds, but the sun is dipping, so we're going to get some nice sunset views. Alright, crossing 10,000 feet, we can now turn off the wing lights, landing lights, and takeoff lights. I can also turn off the no mobile or no electronics sign to auto. And just get this nice little beautiful view as we climb out of Nairobi. Beautiful livery. Just delightful. We'll also turn off the taxi. So just about 10,000 feet, we're now starting to accelerate and climb. So everything looks good. Yeah, everything looks good. I'll also turn the no smoking signs to auto, but it's used to communicate with the cabin crew, non-verbal communication. So they usually just flick it off and on to communicate with the cabin crew. Okay, and we're heading towards north or east Tanzania before we fly over the Indian Ocean. So co-pilot can get comfortable. So can I, but yes, I'll put the foot guards on, get my tray table and keyboard. So this is what the pilots would usually use to program the computers, or the numerous computers that they're facing. Just zoom out just a tad bit so we get a better view of our flight path. What I'll also do is start a timer, zoom out so we have a better view of our flight path. Also on the I think it's Microsoft's own EFB, and yeah, we're going to continue our climb. Quite smooth departure, no issues at all. The rotation was actually quite smooth, but it's always been smooth. Probably could do with the joystick throttle setup I have, which has got the Turtle Beach. I think it's flight deck 1 or flight 1. Turtle Beach. Yeah, flight deck 1. And yeah, it's no lag, no nothing. It's very smooth, very smooth. Okay, I think we're yeah. There's nothing to do now, just to babysit the aircraft to make sure it does as we've asked it. And yeah, although what I could do is have a look at the I think it's 06 South. But there we go. So this is this should have been our departure. So our to-do is in the wrong position, because usually I'm meant to fly out, quick right, shallow right turn, and then turn to Utata. But this thing is kind of outdated. Effective 15th of May. So okay, it might be quite recent, but you can see we're just about to exit the plate. This is our aircraft here, so we don't need that anymore. I'm going to concentrate on our arrival airport. So stars, runway 11. I think runway 29 is a RNAV, which is still serviceable, and so this is our plate for when we arrive. While we do that, I will also do the same for our arrival on the first officer screen. So we're going to get some ground information. We expected to taxi to gate 23, which is which has a jet bridge, and this is our runway. Hopefully we exit on Echo, so it's going to be quite a bit of a distance before we exit the runway. If we do miss it, there's the turnaround point. It's about 2/3 of down the airport, so down the runway. But as far as that, I think we are. Yeah, I can have the OFP on the first officer screen, and I'll have the en route or en route map on my screen. What I could also do is switch that over, and everything is to the left, and got a big map right on the center console screen. But yeah, nice cruise, well, nice climb, and I will turn off the mic for a bit as we climb until we get to our cruise. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to check. So move to first up to the screen and to see if we've got any step climbs, which is something I should have done once I had generated the flight plan. Alright, so cruise climb to 39,000 feet. I believe it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be our cruising altitude for the duration of the flight. And with that, I kind of miss my co-pilot. I don't know why they've moved. Every update seems to just mess something. You know, either the 900 series has both pilots avatars, or you know, the 1000 series. So it's just anyway. Inibuilds, work on that, please. I do like my co-pilot visible, because all my passengers don't seem to be. So yes, I'm going to turn off the mic for a bit, and let you guys enjoy the climb to cruise. I'll pop back once we've got to our cruising altitude. Over there we've got Mount Kilimanjaro, and another mountain there. Should really learn that. But yeah, we've got a beautiful view, and sun setting behind us. I think local time is what time's let's have a look. So local time is saying just about 2:30 in the midday UTC, but I think Uh, it's like 2 or 3 hours. I think it's 2 hours um, ahead of GMT. But yeah, so I'll pop back in a bit. Enjoy the climb.
Car Center. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy is at flight level 305 climbing flight level 390.
Hello, welcome back. So, still on our way to Madagascar. Hopefully, this flight won't end as the previous flight because I think it was the first time loading in the first time arriving in Bogota. So, the sim kind of had to load everything at once, and that kind of overwhelmed the system and crashed the desktop happened. But I will redo that flight, and I will probably in the coming days, probably over the weekend, I'll probably redo the flight. I believe it was from Chile, Santiago I think it's Santiago to uh, Bogota in Colombia. But yeah, the flight itself actually went fine. Literally, the sim crashed um, 400 feet above ground, just about a mile or so from the runway. But you know, I'll attempt the flight, and I'll pretty much keep the old flight as well because there was some nice little interaction with one of the new subscriber. I think he's Raptor 130. He from Switzerland, I believe, and I'll stole uh, the second part of my channel's name. But anyway, so I'll have to be do that. I'll at some point. Like I said, probably over the weekend. Um, so yeah, I'll see how that goes. But the real reason for the flight, I was actually wanted to do a night flight, or at least a a what's it, from a dawn flight, so you get a nice little view of external you know, the exterior. By the way, so with that said, we are going to be maintaining 39,000 feet. As you can see, top of the descent that just popped up there's just a little um, white arrow tilting downwards, so that we will be starting our descent from there. So the preparation for arrival should begin, really. First thing I'll probably do is dial in the platform altitude um, on the heading bar, so that when we get to top of descent, we can just select descent, and we initiate the descent itself. So we are looking to descend to the runway elevation or airport elevation is 4,200 feet. So let me just get this dialed in. So we're going to select 7,000 and go on altitude 7,000. So we won't have to change much. We could go with the transition altitude for. I'm still haven't learned the how to pronounce the airport, but I've got a orange warning here. Lever asymmetry. I'm guessing it's something to do with the yeah, it was of course I've got a dual the thought recorder, and there's a button on the left that you click that sort of separates them, and you click it again and sort of combines both throttles. So I think there's a bit of issue there, but that's got rid of that for us. So descending down to 7,000 feet, transition altitude is 8,000 feet, so I'll probably put that into the Goran altitude. What I could do next is the auto brakes. So I'm gonna put it in plan mode and go into zoom, and let's go here, and let's go to landing. So still don't have Navigraph. I think it's anyway. I don't think it's pointless. I just don't, it's not something I would use frequently anyway. So we're gonna go to landing performance. I could choose either the data from FMC or data from SimBrief, but I'm gonna go with data from FMC or MCDU as this is the Airbus. So Arrival FMMI, runway 11. Runway length is 3,120 feet. Elevation is 4,171. Slope is 0 for now, but that's fine. We're also going to sync the weather information. So wind's direction is 70 at 4 knots. Temperature outside is 11 degrees, so it's fairly cold. And then QNH 1024, and condition is dry. Landing weight is 197. Configuration full flaps, virtual pilot, no, don't have to worry about that. Landing technique is going to be a manual landing. Auto brakes, so I'm going to go for manual just because we're going to be using PTV. So with that I can sync once more and then let's compute. Alright, so to stop where we want to, we're going to choose, we're going to go with the stopping distance of, well, estimated, because I don't know if I'm going to nail the touchdown zone, but most likely should, and it's going to be 1,727 meters. So it's going to dial that in, select auto brakes, and we've got a BTV over there. With that, I can now go to the charts. So we're going to be coming in from this side. There we go. Coming up from this side, turning in. Sorry, coming here, turning right. About 15 or so nautical miles before 3 nautical miles out on the left turn. But I think that's it. Yeah. So back to arc, and then I'm gonna zoom right out so we've got a good view of the entire flight path. Okay, as you can see, it's really dark now. I could do with some lights actually. So at least I can see something. Okay, so gonna set the dish to normal, or the weather radar dish to normal, and I believe I can say that preparation, besides the checklist, is complete. Alright, so let's get some lighting. Alright, so at least we can see something. It's going to be still darker right at the back that side, but we're going to deal with that later on. So with that, I believe I can now just quickly go through everything, make sure that we've got all the information that we need for our arrival. Alright, so let's get the weather or the meta information for, I think I put the wrong information. Sorry, put the wrong in meta -taf.com. So we've got the Colombia weather, but we are looking. So I'm going to attempt to pronounce the capital of Madagascar. So is it Analamanga? I think that's all. I think that's the airport actually. City. Okay. Yeah. This is gonna bother me no end. But let me first put the information that I need in here. Then I'll. Yeah. Let me see. So performance, approach, and so wind direction is 60, not 40. 60. We've got 4 knot wind, so it's going to be very calm. So I might actually disengage autopilot a little bit earlier than I'd like. A little bit earlier, but not as than I like, but just a little bit earlier. Current temperature is 11 degrees, so it's fairly cool. Might need to consider anti-icing, but it's not something to worry about for now. But that's it. Alright, so I'm sort of working ahead of myself here. Departure, so we've done all this, you don't need to worry about that. Tempo speed, so let's just get the approach checklist. So Parliament minimums road, it's all that bit done. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So can you reduce the range a bit? Because we are coming up to probably about 280 nautical miles out. Rough estimate is you should be expecting to start you initiate your descent around about 100 nautical miles from your destination, so it gives you around about 20 or so minutes flight time left, and roughly about average, I'll probably say about 1,800 feet per minute. Okay, so with that, I can now get the information that I will need for when I arrive. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna keep that. Keep the OFB for now, and then put en route here. As you can see, we're approaching the island of Madagascar. There's a few more islands shown past. So there's a few islands sort of littered around our flight path and sort of in and around. Actually quite a lot over the Indian Ocean. So there's that. So at some point, maybe in the future, I will actually travel there. Okay. Just need to double check, make sure I've got everything right. Actually, what I could do, terminal chart. Not going to bother too much about this because I've got all that information on the flight map anyway. But runway 11. Let's see if it's going to give us the minimums or decision height. 7,000. We're going to level out before we start initiate our descent about 8 or 9 miles out. That's when we will continue our descent on the final. Alright, so this looks good. Yeah, so 7,000, so anyway, that's fine. Alright, so as I'm aiming a lot, which is the pilot's problem. But yeah, just trying to make sure I've got everything, because I'm sort of working mostly on memory here. But oh, okay. Alright. Standard arrival. Where is it? Start. There we go. So I'm gonna keep that for now because it seems to be more useful. So just coming up to 160 nautical miles out. Alright, so all this, I've got all the right information in. Nav data, yeah, we've got the ID for the runway. I think it's IO for ident, frequency 109.5, and runway course is 114, which is about, yeah, so which is about best of the compass. Yeah, good. So tilt radar dish below so we get weather information as we send. Okay, so now we can just sit back and babysit the aircraft just a tad. Once we get about 80 nautical miles out, I will turn off the time compression. So it's nice and dark. Let me see if I put the strobe lights on auto. See if that's yeah, so cabin lights are off as well, so allowing the passengers to get a bit of a nap. Alright, so with that, pretty much a quick update. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be redoing the flight again from Santiago, Santiago, Chile to Bogota in Colombia. It's around about a 5 hour, 5.5 hour flight. With time compression, I could probably bring it down to about 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes flight. So I'm looking forward to doing that because it's one area I've never actually ever been. I've never done a flight taking a right turn. So I've never actually done that flight before in the history of my flight sim, or my flight sim history. But one interesting one, I have done a flight to Madagascar before. This is way back in I think it's flight Microsoft Flight 78 2000. It was before the FSX or Flight Sim 10. So it was actually quite a decent flight. I did enjoy it. It was in a 777 uh, 300 LR, I believe it was at the time. I don't think it had the and it was a default flight. I don't think it had the ER extended range variant at the time. But yeah, I enjoyed the flight, and it was something that I kind of got me back into the coming back into flight sim. So yeah, at some point I will probably recreate that flight again, but it was a long time ago. I mean, we've got 200 here, so depending on what PMDJ is, well, actually that's the thing I was mentioning as well. It's actually not a developer released a 777. It was actually a default Microsoft 777. So it was actually quite minimal, to say the least. You can just point the aircraft. At the time, I didn't know how to use waypoint, so I just moving the autopilot properly. I literally just kept on every now and again, sort of just uh, redialing in the heading, and as far as descent time, I kind of relied on the ATC, and then God knows how I got anywhere. And those those years of my Microsoft Flight Simulator. So as you can see, I've turned off the time compression, dialed in the platform altitude. Everything else has pretty much been done. I can now do the approach checklist, which is probably best doing once you start descent. But I'm just going to simplify but just the workload for myself as we descend or as we approach Madagascar's capital. Alright, by reference, yeah, that's 1024. Minimums 200. Runway condition dry. Auto brakes BTV. 40 nautical miles out. I'll turn on seatbelt signs so passengers can prepare themselves up accordingly for the arrival. I could also turn on the smoking sign, so tell the cabin crew sort of close shop and get us ready for arrival. Alright, so with that, checklist complete. Our pro checklist is complete. So next checklist is going to be the landing checklist, so that's fine. Alright, so now Inibuild did introduce a feature which is, I think, is autosave. I'm still not sure how it works or how I can sort of utilize it in case it's a crash desktop or something like that. So it's something I'm going to be looking into at some point. So it looks like an interesting seems like an interesting tool, especially when just in the early stages of an aircraft being released. You're going to have a lot of bugs that need fixing, so you're going to crash a lot to desk. So it's something that I'd like. I don't know how it works for the A350. But yeah, so just gonna babysit the aircraft for the remainder of the flight. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out I'm gonna try and pronounce the destination airport. Alright, so the pronunciation or my attempt to pronunciation of the capital of Madagascar is Antananarivo. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Antananarivo, Antananarivo. So that's where we're going to Antananarivo. It's not two separate words; it's one word. But it's just as nananas are just a lot. Just throws me right off. But that's my first ever attempt to pronounce the capital of Madagascar. Antananarivo. 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 I think anyway, that's the best you're gonna get. Anyway, so 50 miles out, coastal aspect. It is very dark out there, and we can. Well, yeah. It seems like the weather is good, so I'm gonna switch to terrain, and I think first officer monitor the weather and the traffic and everything if I had my way. Yeah, so flight's nearly over. Very quick. I thought when I was selecting the or when I was actually setting up the flight plan on Simbri, I thought I was going to be about 5 to 6 hour flight, but 3 hours is not bad. Really not bad, especially with time compression included. So what I tend to do when I'm about 5 nautical miles out, from about 5 nautical miles from top of descent, I sort of initiate the descent, so it just gives a more smoother, more gradual tilting of the nose down, obviously pulling the power back, and it's a more smoother descent initialization. But yeah, we've still got about we're about 115, 18 nautical miles up. So the descent is going to take some time. Probably estimated about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. Now, as far as the flight plan is expecting us to arrive 1690, and actual time right now is 1606. That might change, but we'll see anyway.
Loose Raptor Bravo 4
Turn on the
Golf Heavy.
electronics as well, so all signs are on. Alright, so I love how they've included light pollution as well. So the light from the ground, from the capital, is sort of uh, illuminating quite distance above ground. So that's a nice little feature. But we are over land, and there's a road sort of snaking through terrain I cannot see. It looks mountainous. As you can see here, there's a lot of green. Alright, so I'll start preparation for arrival. Get rid of all the pedal guards, and I'll also put away the food trays for both captain and officer. So it looks like such a terrible, such a hazard, especially if you have like if you're having like like an accident or something like that. I suppose that's why the seat belts are quite beefy, but it is quite mentioned sort of sliding through that just slice you in half, especially if you are landing.
Antananarivo Center. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy requests destination change to Avato.
Alright, so she's going to request another destination change. Hopefully we get a good ATC right up to destination.
Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy cleared to Avato Airport is filed. Squawk 4634.
I'm going to switch back because screen's way too bright.
Continue to Tango November Victor following heading 185. Climb and maintain flight level 39.
Yeah, a little bit brighter.
Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy.
Increase the contrast so I can see the ground, or at least the terrain. It's useless looking outside. I mean, you get the Milky Way, but not that much. Just one road. Pretty sure we're going to be for road leading to the same destination. So, but we're nearly there. I'm going to center us on the captain's
Maintain
map.
present heading and altitude. Expect Zulu runway 11 approach via Tango November Victor tree treatment.
Alright, 1-1.
17D arc. Cleared to Tango November Victor tree treatment radial. 17D. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy. Antananarivo Center. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy requests destination change to Avato. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy cleared to Avato Airport is filed. Squawk 4634. Continue to Tango November Victor following heading 185. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy. via Tango November Victor Tree 8 radial, 17 demi arc. Clear to Tango November Victor. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy. Antananarivo Center. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy would like to change destination to Avato. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy cleared to Avato Airport is filed. Squawk 4634. Continue to Tango November Victor following heading 185. Climb and maintain flight level 390. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy.
Alright, so roughly about 18,000 feet, and we are fairly close. Probably say about 44 knots per month, but there's a lot of hills sort of in that path, and we've been following this road for a while. It's a very weird road. It's like left turn, right turn, left turn, so it's not like a straight road, but anyway, you know, build your roads how you like.
11,000 feet. Expect Isulu runway 11 approach via Tango November Victor Tree 8 radial. 17
Alright, so
clear to
we've
Tango
got enough
November Victor.
clearance, so we're about 800
Bravo 4
feet
Lima Golf Heavy.
above vertical profile.
Antananarivo Center.
So what I'll do
Loose Raptor Bravo
is
4 Lima
I'll
Golf
extend
Heavy
the
would like to change destination to Avato.
speed brakes, and I'll also, yeah,
Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy.
actually I'll just increase the
Squawk 4634.
alright, bring back the spoilers, so it's going to be a little bit slippery, but I hope aircraft can sort of manage the speed well. So about 13,000 feet, I'm just going to decide to
Continue to Tango November Victor
just slow down
155.
to 250 knots or 240 knots to maintain altitude constraint, which I believe is 240 below 250 knots, below 250 knots below 10,000 feet.
Antananarivo Center. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy would like to change
So
destination.
11,000 feet. I'll give aircraft some help and extend the full speed brakes. So there's not much to see. Alright, so I'm going to retract the speed brakes and we're gonna arm them again. So about 10,000, I'll probably say about 10,700, 10,700 feet. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the landing lights and wing light. So turn off the Nice little wing. So I believe that's the airport there. That's the runway, and we're about 20 within the 20 nautical mile, 20-mile nautical mile. I don't know if it okay to say nautical, just say mile. Anyway, 20-mile ring, and we're heading towards entry to final. So it's gonna be Balby, turning left at Balby. Alright, so I'm happy, and yeah, so all I can do now is just make sure that we hit our marks and fully configured by the time we get to our left turn. We are on vertical profile, just about below the glide slope. I can also arm the localizer. Turn on the Noseville lights as well. So the needle should start turning. So it should start centering the localizer needle. And also the map here on the left is tracking us as well, so telling us exactly where we are. Alright, I'm approach hold and autopilot 2, and the aircraft is slowing down to landing speed, I believe. Transition altitude 1024. Check. Okay, I've got landing checklist as well, so okay. So about 14 miles out, I'm gonna select flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1.
Antananarivo approach. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy would like to change destination to Avato.
Should be able to extend the landing gear, but I'm going to hold on that for now and give the aircraft the benefit of the doubt. Alright, landing gear down. Alright, speed check, flaps 2. So, runway side.
Climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Expect as Zulu runway 11 approach via Tango November Victor Tree 8 radial 17 Demi arc. Clear to Tango November Victor. Loose Raptor
Flaps 3.
4 Lima Golf Heavy.
Speed check.
Antananarivo approach. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy would like to change
Speed
destination
check.
to Avato.
Flaps 4.
Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima
So
Golf
I'll
Heavy
let
clear to
the
Avato
cabin crew know
airport is
that
fine. Squawk
cabin is
1671.
cabin crew's gonna let me know cabin is ready. Alright, landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. About 1,000 feet above. Alright, so fully configured, landing speed selected 140, glide slope captured, localizer captured, check your scope base. 1000 feet above. Set up autopilot, I have the aircraft.
Turn right heading 115. Proceed on course, expect as Zulu runway 11 approach via Tango November Victor Tree 8 radial. 17 demi arc. Cleared to Tango November Victor. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy. Antananarivo approach. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy would like to change destination to Avato.
500.
Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy cleared to Avato Airport is filed. Squawk 1671.
100 above.
How far not winds? I don't know, kind of all over the place, especially with the glide slope, but
Turn right heading 115. Resume own navigation. Keep speed not above 230 knots. Loose Raptor Bravo 4 Lima Golf Heavy.
50, 40, 20, 10, 5.
reverse fall. Not happy with that at all. 70 knots, reverse is off. 50 knot, our brakes off, manual braking, and we're gonna stop exit E, which is our estimate. Landing lights off. Let's take this right turn. Alright, clock's off, master switch on, APU masters on, taxi lights on, strobe lights off. Alright, so our gate is just here. And this is our gate. There's no ground, which is unfortunate, but let's ask GSX to gather us. Alright, flaps up. Could now bring down the spoilers or speed brakes. So, wing lights off. don't know why, but servers or Microsoft has opened my door. Alright, we need to get to the right position. Release the brakes. Alright, in the position took a little bit longer than I liked, but we didn't like the landing at all. Quite unfortunate, but anyway, let me see if I can get the right doors open. So first things first, go to ground and set the chocks, disarm all doors, pin L2, gonna attach the GPU, toggle disarm, so I don't know, it's just spalling out there. Alright, so close L1 and let me keep on. Alright, so ground power is connected. Turn on ground power and we can turn off APU master and vehicle lights can come off. Turn all passenger signs and yeah, that's it. So let me see if I can close L1 and then get GSX to deboard the aircraft. Alright, so let me see if I can fix it, because definitely the position or the jetway position is a little bit off. But let me see if I can get it in the right position. Really simple: turn it off and turn it back on. Just running into my engine. So well, jet was reattaching. Let me see if I can get GSX. So what it is request deboarding. Request deboarding. I don't know why Jetway is doing its thing again, but come back, open a rear door. Alright, operate stairs, operate jetway. Cargo does. I don't know why jetway is not, well, at least it's not allowing me to operate the jetway. Where is it? Operate jetway. Okay, so what I'll do then is go to my trusty old pushback helper and let's open the door.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Okay, and with that, I'm gonna have to end the flight. Quite unfortunate about the landing. It's quite terrible actually. But I'll play through it. Sometimes, to me anyway, it looks a little worse than it actually is. But yeah, this wasn't all that good. I think we were like rolling on one leg, a rear left legs. But anyway, that's something that I'll need to work on. probably just because I've not really been on this aircraft for a while. But race drivers' excuses aside, flight itself was actually quite good, quite smooth takeoff. It's good smooth takeoff, sorry, and very nice view into the dusk, dusk of into dusk. Sorry. So yeah, it's really good. Look forward to doing more. Look forward to actually redoing the Chile to Colombia flight. So look forward to that. And once again, thank you very much. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.